Wesley Snipes had CGI eyes for one brief shot in Blade, Trinity, but why? Apparently, the reason has to do with Snipes' issues with director David S. Goyer. There have long been rumors and stories of Wesley Snipes' bad behavior on the set of Blade, Trinity. The seemingly unnecessary CGI effect demonstrates just how serious this bad behavior was for production. Released in 2004, the action horror movie Blade, Trinity was the third and final film that starred Wesley Snipes as the titular vampire hunter. The film was a modest success at the box office, but was hammered by critics for failing to live up to the standards set by the first two movies. The movie suffered from a number of problems, including its story, a lack of substance, and more. Described by many as a train wreck, Blade, Trinity brought the Blade franchise to a halt and became Wesley Snipes' final outing as the Marvel Comics superhero. After the movie's release, Snipes sued New Line Cinema and Goyer over complaints about his salary and reduced screen time. Reportedly, production of Blade, Trinity was haunted by problems that happened on set, and one story that demonstrates just how bad it was is David S. Goyer's account of the now infamous morgue scene at the end of the movie. Viewers have noted that it's obvious in one scene that Blade's eyes are momentarily created with CGI. This happens when Blade is thought to be dead, and he suddenly opens his eyes. Except, according to Goyer, Snipes didn't open his eyes via a B club. Supposedly, Snipes didn't open his eyes because he was angry with Goyer and didn't want to cooperate. So instead of pushing the matter, it was solved by just putting CGI over his eyelids. On set tension to blame for Blade's CGI eyes. There have been multiple accounts about the outrageous behind-the-scenes Blade, Trinity production troubles, and much of it comes from actor Patton Oswalt, who played Hedges. Oswalt has claimed that Snipes would spend most of his time in his trailer high, and he would only come out when it was time for his close-ups, as many of his scenes were shot with his stand-in. It's been said many times that Snipes and Goyer did not get along, which began with Snipes not even wanting Goyer to direct. Oswalt says Snipes even accused Goyer of racism. It reached a point where Snipes stopped interacting with Goyer and would only communicate with him by leaving post-it notes signed by Snipes from Blade. Snipes has denied most rumors about his on-set behavior, but he admitted to this one, albeit only to an extent. However, he hasn't commented on the CGI eye scene in Blade, Trinity, via HuffPost, which may be the most bizarre story ever to come out of the Blade films. How Blade, Trinity's troubled production ruined the movie. The strenuous relationship between Goyer and Snipes was far from Blade, Trinity's only problem though. For starters, the script and premise of the entire movie were changed last minute. Goyer's original idea was for a much darker Blade 3 wherein Blade questions his allegiance to humanity. It would have seen a world overrun by vampires and a much better villain than the campy Dracula performance Blade eventually faced. Sadly, the studio felt this script was too morbid. Vampires harvesting humans seems like the kind of bleak premise 2020's audiences would lap up, but in 2004, New Line Cinema felt it veered too much into outright horror territory for popular taste. They wanted a big-budget action flick, and in the time before movies like Logan and The Dark Knight proved that blockbuster box office smashes can be gritty too, Goyer's original vision didn't fit the early brief. This script change was requested so far into Blade, Trinity's production journey that the lighter replacement was rushed out, and it was clear from the cheesy one-liners and cookie-cutter plot that Goyer clearly didn't care about it. When this is combined with the animosity between him and leading man Snipes, whose threats once reportedly led Goyer to spend 24 hours in his trailer, the entire movie was doomed before it was even released. The fact there was never a Blade 4 really isn't surprising. Blade now has a future with Marvel and Disney, and the rebooted MCU Blade release date is set for November 3, 2023. The titular Blade is being portrayed by Mahershala Ali, and the movie is directed by Bassam Tariq. With neither Goyer nor Snipes involved and CGI coming on a long way since 2004, it's a pretty sure bet that the Blade reboot won't make the same mistakes as Blade, Trinity. Even if the new line Blade franchise won't even get a chance to redeem its terrible ending, the Daywalker himself is at least getting a new lease on life in the MCU.